Welcome yet again to another episode of Women in Business. It's always a delight to have you. This is Kem Chadorin, Women in Business on Smart 24 TV. Happy New Year. We still have Happy New Year. Until the end of January, we are still giving you the best wishes for this 2024. Please arise, seize the moment, and do your best. Now, as ever, we are very keen on trying to understand what makes it better for the woman in business. What makes it better for not only just her, is she able to access the resources? Is she able to save? Is she able to invest? And on this particular episode, our topic today is the role of the church in enabling women empowerment. The church is crucial. The church is vital. And that is why we bring to you two amazing people that will represent, I think, part and parcel, and give us a little bit of insight on what the church is doing to enable women empowerment. Immediate, I have Reverend Andrew Agaba, Director of Household and Community Transformation Directorate at the Church of Uganda Directorate. You're welcome, Reverend.
Thank you, Doreen.
Yes. And then we also have our beautiful lady there, Reverend Barbara T. Mutsha, the Church of Uganda Provincial Family Life and Mothers Union Coordinator. Welcome, Barbara. Please, forgive me. I keep forgetting the reverend part of it, but the title must be spoken as well, reverence. Isn't it? Yes. It has to be spoken. So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This is going to be a good year. It's already a good year.
Indeed, it has started.
And we know for sure the church has such a big role to play. Not only just in the social part of it all, but with teaching, with harmonizing, with coming together and ensuring that all these different issues that arise are addressed. There's been quite a lot. They say the strides that are being made in women empowerment in Uganda. There are so many women that are vibrantly coming up. They continuously are really zeroed down. You talk to a woman in wherever they may be. As an enterprising country, they will tell you, I want to have my own money. I want to be able to see my children have school fees. I want to do this, I want to do that. We've also had different perceptions outside there, and I'll be as candid as possible, about the church. Reverend Andrew is already laughing. But they say, in one way or another, that the church sometimes addresses some of the arising issues, whether it is GBV, whether it is the need to make the money, whether it is the need for transformation and behavior change, that the church actually addresses some of these issues a little bit later. What is your take? Is it, especially in regards to investment, access to capital, and all this, the environment for economic transformation for the woman? What is your take? We'll start with Reverend Barbara.
Yeah, thank you, Doreen, and our viewers there. When you talk of the church addressing these issues later, I actually disagree with you. I'm talking about the current church. I don't know about the church before. I need to speak on behalf of the current church that a lot is being done to address the key issues that affect a woman's economic empowerment. The current church is actively involved in disseminating information on prevention of gender-based violence and response to gender-based violence. The church is doing a lot in resource mobilization and empowering different women groups that are church-based. There are lots of saving and credit groups happening in the churches. An example is like the Mothers Union and Christian Women Fellowship groups in the churches, within the churches. The church is doing a lot of work on relationship building, even through the sermons. And we are doing a lot of training across the dioceses in the churches in the province. Training in financial management and family development, where we are bringing in the issue of the man being supportive to the woman. And as I want to say that the church is now at the forefront in enhancing financial intimacy. We have had many, many causes of intimate partner violences in the communities. And so right now the church is, I could even give you very many success stories.
It's more vocal right now.
Yeah. And we are trying to address what are the key issues that bring about intimate partner violences. One of it is actually finance.
Money.
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 The
Let's say
issue
it
of
as
money.
it is. Yes, money.
So whose money is my money? Yeah. Now we are teaching the married couples to know that actually the money for the man and the money for the woman, it is not their money in singular, but their money in plural. So we are teaching a lot of bring resources together, investing together, looking at each other as partners in family development, in investment, in saving. And there's a lot of transformation happening right now in the church. So the current church is doing something. Yes. And I can give many testimonies
you can
to
testify.
that. Yeah, true.
And we also know the church is very crucial, very, very vital in enabling positive social change. We know that for sure. What happens, and I'll address this to Reverend Andrew, what happens in those instances whereby this is a couple, just as you have said, it is not his money, my money, it is our money. Let us invest it, do something about it together. This is a couple that comes in and they are taught the basics, financial literacy, they are encouraged, they're motivated. Yes, stop looking at it as it used to be. Let there be no conflict. Now, when they go back into society, they don't stay in isolation. They get back into society, and all of a sudden, the society says a man is a man. Yes? A man is a man, woman, keep quiet and be submissive, which submission connotation still comes in heavy in the sermon. So how does this person, how does this couple stand together to ensure that the investment that they continuously they invest together as one? Reverend Andrew.
Thank you so much. Our host on Smart TV this evening. First of all, like you introduced me, I'm the Director for Household and Community Transformation in the Church of Uganda. And one of our thematic areas, amongst the many, is gender and social justice. And through that program, the program that we implement in the province of the Church of Uganda in collaboration with the Family Life Ministry and Mothers Union Desk, we look at the holistic development of a household, and specifically through that program, we focus onto the empowerment of a woman as the anchor for development in the entire household. And for a woman to develop, she needs the support of the husband. Like you mentioned, when the church leaders, like the clergy, the ministry teams, the pastoral teams do their work, they do counseling, the Mothers Union do their work, we do weddings, we throw this couple to the society. And the African traditional society expects the man and the woman to behave in the natural patriarchal settings. A man being a man, and a woman being what? A woman. Look at an example that recently, or in the current era, we have more women who are educated, yes, and they have money, they are in business, they are lecturers, they are doctors, they are professors. And we have men in the society who have withdrawn from their roles, and women are going ahead in terms of development.
Actually, when Reverend mentioned that in this world, for a woman to develop, she needs the support of a man.
Yes.
I could immediately imagine the many women, yes, these days, who will, what did you say? They'll immediately ask you, what did you say?
Yes.
Did he even put a coin? Has he helped me through this time? Has he helped me? Does he even want me to prosper? So what support are you talking about?
So the support, picking up from that, like what she was stating, we have gone ahead as a church to empower these women in a social scientific manner, that they will collaborate with their spouses to ensure that even when they are empowered, that they respect the natural laws, that they have to walk together this journey of life. For example, I know you're about to ask me that maybe those that we train in Village Savings and Loans Association, in the saving culture, when they get their money, 1 million, she'll come to me and say, I'll say, put it on the table, and then I'm supposed to apportion it, and maybe she takes 300,000, and me as a man, I take 700,000. We try to train them through that please, when a woman and a man, they plan together for their family development, they will work together, even using the finances they access from different sources, be it from their projects, be it from their income, be it from the financial institutions. And the unfortunate part is that when women have been empowered, men have a little bit
gone backwards.
Gone backwards. And as a church now, we have come out to have an empowered boy child.
A disempowered boy child.
Yes, because we have realized that the empowered girl is prepared well and reaches a certain time, and you find that she is getting married to a boy who is not nurtured, who is not empowered, and then we find cases of GBV, cases of disrespect, cases of inequality. Even in society, you find like women are becoming better managers of offices, finances, programs, as you find that boys at a certain point,
their confidence keeps shrinking.
Their confidence, even approaching a lady to get married to her. Like you find like somehow they are not confident enough. They lack self-esteem. So as a church, we have also that campaign.
Yes. And if just quickly, if I can relate it to what Reverend Barbara was talking about, you mentioned GBV. Women in business these days are getting more incidences of GBV. Sometimes it may be the violent physical, violence, really, the physical violence, but then there's an increase in the undertone of silent violence. The emotional violence is on the increase, quite a lot. And then another person was telling me the financial violence as well, of which someone says, what is financial violence? I've not given you your money, make mine. But if I make my money, or I get it from one of the savings, why do you want to take everything? Yes? And even as you mentioned that their confidence, their self-esteem is going down. They may not hit you as a woman, but then they will show you. And this is what they say, I will show you, quote unquote. So is the church aware of some of these incidences of I will show you, the silent violence that is happening? Why am I insisting on it? Because we've had so many women that get supported by their husbands to start. And this cuts across the social divide, the socio-economic divide, really. The husband supports and says, let me give you something, okay, to start. Maybe it's 1,500,000, 100, it depends. And then when the woman just as naturally births, yes, when she gets it and starts the business and pours in a lot of her time, the business actually begins to grow. And then she's spending some time off home to nurture the business. Then this same husband says, choose between the family and the business. Yes? Choose between the family. I have so far 3, and I keep telling them, 3, 4 women that are in that dilemma. One of them is saying, you know what, the kids are already old, I will leave. Another person is saying, this and this ABCD, I've had to leave and go back home and sit. I can't lose my family. Is the church aware of this?
Yeah.
Because it's preaching submission at the pulpit. Yes. Total submission, by the way. It's total.
Yes, thank you, Doreen. The church is preaching love. The church is preaching submission. And that is scripture. What the church is being deliberate upon and being very intentional is the male engagement, the male involvement. We are very intentional with the Fathers Union. The current Church of Uganda, across the province, in all the churches, we are trying to strengthen the ministry of the men. And even when we begin talking about women empowerment, remember, Doreen and the viewers, that for this woman who is a mother, for this woman who is a wife, the empowerment that we are talking about and the peace and safety of a woman, it all starts in the house, in the home. Actually, let me zero down, it starts from the bedroom. So whatever we are doing as Church of Uganda, we are being very deliberate that we need the men on board. So in all the trainings and in all the sessions, that's why you hear of massive, you are currently hearing, I'm sure, of massive weddings and couple conferences.
Yes, yes.
We are being deliberate because whatever that we want into this woman, we must involve the husband. We must involve the men. And so we have established fathers' union structures from the province to the grassroots. And when we are teaching about family development, Doreen, you are seated and you are seated with your husband. It makes sense than when we are talking about women empowerment trainings and they are just women, okay? So we are trying to engage the men to see women as people of value, but when it comes also to finances, we are teaching the couples that family development is about looking at each other, a man looking at his wife and a woman looking at the husband as partners who are equal, who need to agree, who need to combine resources together and explore opportunities together.
So at the end of the day, is this man going to say, as he's outside there in the community, oh, let me first consult my wife on this?
Actually, Doreen, it's about mindset change, and that's what the church
change.
is doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I have a testimony of one of the men recently confessed to me when we went to do a follow-up in the training we just had recently. And he said that for the first time, he began to value his woman, to value his wife. Yeah. So all along, he was brought up in this cultural setting where he looks at women and girls as theirs is the kitchen and then the bedroom. So he marries this woman saying that this one is for the kitchen and for the bedroom, basically to give birth and cook food. Yes. So after this empowerment program, where we involved actually more men than the women, he went back and somehow changed his attitude. So now he's told the woman, now you're going to be in charge of the cows, okay? Whatever the proceeds that come out of the sales of the milk, you are going to plan for that money. So he concentrated on the banana plantation project and his other businesses. Now he amazed us when he said that recently his wife surprised him with a car.
With a car? With
a car.
Yes.
I mean, she said she couldn't believe that the husband had changed to the extent of giving her the opportunity to manage the milk project. And you know what training does? When the church realizes this and continually we do this, involving in the men in our empowerment programs, in our trainings, in our mindset sessions, on the pulpit, I'm sure that moving forward, we are yet to realize more fruit.
More fruits. I will give you just one situation. In one of the UNDP, I think, press releases of 2023, it said an empowered woman is, in most cases, only able to be empowered to a point of 60%. And even as she is going about her daily life and this and that, there is such a huge gender gap that she can only do estimatedly around 72% of what the man will do. Only 72% of what the man will do. Now, I have traversed this country. There are certain times when I get to a certain, especially in the rural setting, whereby the patriarchal system is so neat, close-knit. And I say, but what is here? Yes, what is here? Are women empowered? Are we really emancipated? What is happening? And yet we also know in the rural areas, I'm not saying that in the urban places people are not really into the church, but within the rural areas there is quite a lot of cohesion in church. Why do they also say that in most cases the churches will keep you poor? It's a way of thinking these days. Is it right or it is wrong that the church will only say, be contented and let us pray? Yes? What God has said, God has decreed. Thank God. Yes, let us pray about it. Tithe a little bit more. Work more. Instead of telling them, go out there, irrigate your gardens. Irrigate your gardens. Get into the savings. This is some of what, and I'm bringing to you the voices of some of the people out there. And it's very good that we get to meet some of you so that you can get to clarify and sensitize us further. So this is really a way of thought out there. You get into church wholeheartedly, you're going to remain poor. And they want you to tithe. Yes, they want you. Now my wife was inside this church. She came and asked me for permission. I told her, if you bring for me any nonsense about getting money and giving it to the pastor, you will see me. That is a man, a boda man, telling me, what is all this about the church and wealth?
Thank you very much, Doreen and the viewers out there. I think it's a myth to say that you come to church and then you remain poor, because the God that we serve is a rich God. God has given us the abundance that he speaks about in John 10:10, that I came that they may have life and have it in abundance. And that tells you how God created Adam and gave him the entire earth to subdue it with gardens and said, go and procreate. And our message as Church of Uganda is about the conversion of the heart, the conversion of the mind, and the conversion of the hands. When the heart receives God and the mind is pure, then the hands are energized to work hard. We have integrated our messages with the message about hard work, because we are in a volatile society where the needs are enormous, that children must go to school, we need health care, we need good housing, we need clean water, we need clean source of light, we need means of transport, we need to sleep well and enjoy the comfort that Barbara is speaking about. And you can't access that by only reading the Bible. So we read the Bible, but also work. We preach the gospel and integrate it with a message of hard work. Because, Doreen, I am sure if you didn't have facilitation to come here, or to meet us, or to invite us to this TV, we wouldn't be here. All this is money, and you can't do it out of the spirit. It needs hard cash.
You can't pray about it?
I mean, God enables a person who is hardworking. And I want to encourage the viewers there
Please look
for
at them
women
and insist.
who are out there, being in villages, either in Kaburamaido, in Hoima, in Kampala, in Down City, it is about hard work. And
I need you to talk to the urban woman. Why? Because at least 85% of the churches right now
yes,
are filled up. Maybe not the huge churches such as this where we are, yes, but I'm saying the other churches that are dotting all over the place. They say 85% of the congregation is made up of women. These women are there sometimes living as early as 8 or 7 o'clock in the church. And they go there up to late and even do an overnight, and sometimes they even carry a bag. Yes, they carry a bag and go in. And now this is what brings about some violence, because the man, at the end of the day, who is not part of that, who has to work, is saying, what is happening to my wife? The church is taking my wife away.
the pastor is owning my wife.
Exactly, and men are bitter. Men outside there are bitter. We are talking about the woman in business, because in this particular angle, because the men are bitter outside there, and they will say, you as the church are stopping my wife from adding value to this family. Is that right or is wrong?
I would say, to some extent, I am a pastor, I am a clergy in Church of Uganda, but I have been invited several times in Pentecostal churches, in these churches, and I have spoken to several groups, because when we are doing development, we do it in a non-segregative manner. When, Doreen, you are a Catholic, and I am an Anglican, and you are poor, and I am rich, your children will come and steal my pineapples. You'll get sick, and I'll use my car to take you to the hospital. Even you can even throw stones on my windscreens. And therefore, we want to capture development in a holistic manner. But that does not make us forget our mandate of making disciples for all nations, of preaching the word of God. I would want to talk about those that the Christians that are there, both in urban and rural, in these churches where you are encouraged to do fasting, to pray Monday to Monday, that our God that we serve is a God of order.
Please talk to them.
He created...
Talk to these ladies, yeah?
He started creation on the first day, and he had time to rest. So how do we demystify God's order? He knew that there was time to work and time to honor him. And therefore, can we really get time to pray? I think even when I'm digging my groundnuts, planting them, I can still sing. And praising is also part of prayer. I can still pray to God. God, as I till this garden, bless it, that I will have enough yield. As I'm in business, selling my clothes in this shop or in merchandise, I can still commit my life to God. And because God has not put a rule that thou do not work. Yes. He has said, thou do not steal, thou do not lie, thou do not kill. And when Jesus summarizes these commandments and says, love your neighbor as you love yourself, honor your God before any other. Now, what does that mean? Doreen, I can't love you when you have and I don't have. That will bring like envy in me because we are living in an equal society. Yes. Back to the women in business. I would want to say, because you mentioned something about the haves and the have-nots. If Barbara has 1 million Uganda shillings and the husband doesn't have, now we have two categories that I've observed. There's that category that have understood it, that if Barbara has 1 million Uganda shillings and she's empowered and the husband does not have, it is courtesy for her to pick 200, 300,000 and fill the husband's wallet. Yes. In order, because this man must be a man and must be happy. And in the same way, if Barbara's husband has, he makes it intentional to ensure that Barbara feels happy, either by buying a dress. Now we have the other category that you are concerned about. The category that eats alone, the selfish category.
Selfish for a reason, maybe. Yes. Selfish for a reason, maybe.
We would say that.
Because they also have pertinent reasons why.
Or sometimes mindset change is not yet done properly, like how my colleague was saying. Yeah. Like, this woman feels this is my money, and the husband feels this is my money. And even the wife cannot see what the husband is doing at home with the money. But also, the wife, when she has money, the only thing is to make her hair, the only thing is to buy a good car, put Tutex, have some luxury at the expense of the husband. I would lastly speak about this example, that I have met a woman who got married to a man who was a banker. And at a certain point, he lost a job. But through his banking work, he had started up a spare parts business for the woman. Yes. And this woman now grew her business as the banker was dropped in the bank. Yes. And now he comes. We have also that category. And this woman...
Does she support him?
She was ready to support, and she would do it and gives him money. Yes. Says, get this 2 million. We are going to Serena with our children for an evening. And when they come back and the man is drunk, he batters the wife. Lady. Now, this woman felt irritated because I have worked hard, I have given you money and the respect that you deserve, but still I have harvested canes and slaps.
And there are very women, there are very many women such as this. But before we get into that and some of these reasons, which are real,
Yes.
because there are so many women complaining about this, let's take a very quick short break and we'll be right back after this message.